Hello to the people that care about this video. This is just me for fun. I wanted to post this video because I started to watch something that really piqued my interest. I was watching it with M, and I realized how much I had to say about it. And so I'm going to show it to you guys. It is a video from Susan Wojcicki, I think is how you say her name. She is the CEO of YouTube. She put it out on her channel, and it's a short little 6-minute video, but I just kind of wanted to go through it and talk about sort of the stuff that goes over it. The video is called Our 2022 Priorities, and so I kind of thought it would be kind of cool for the people that are interested to see a little how a content creator on the platform of YouTube thinks about this sort of stuff. And so, yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. Here's the video. Before we start, I gotta say, YouTube makes the thumbnail of a video so important. Like, it is such a hugely impactful thing for how well a video does. And for Susan to have this as the thumbnail, oh, good Lord, Susan, you're good. You better be happy that you're good at being the CEO of YouTube, because thumbnail design is not so good. It's the whole theme of the video is this way too, but all right, here it is.
Hi everyone. We've seen amazing things in the YouTube community over the last year. Creators have shared their voices, built businesses, and brought the world together in meaningful ways during very tough times. And as we look forward, we're focused on helping grow our platform in the year ahead. We've seen incredible growth on YouTube. We're also seeing significant momentum with Shorts. We've now hit 5 trillion all-time views on Shorts, and
all right, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. I've watched like the first 30 seconds of this video, but not really past this. This is really interesting that Susan brings up such a huge like pat on the back for YouTube, like, hey, how about that? We got Shorts going now, 5 trillion views. Isn't that amazing? It's really funny because Shorts are like shoved down the throats of people. Like, it is just nonstop, like shorts. Like, they just show it to you at a hugely disproportional rate. Like, it is unbelievably easy to reach a wider audience with Shorts than it is a short YouTube video. I think a really good example of this also is just, again, this is an example of like how they're really boosting the success of Shorts when I don't think it's really all that well warranted. Ludwig just made a video recently on one of his channels called Mogul Mail, and it was called like how much I made from this short video, or how much does Shorts really make, or something like that, right? And he talks about how he uploads there's 2 different kinds of ways you can upload. There's a short video, like that is an actual YouTube short, and then there's one that is just a video that is not very long, right? And so a video that is not very long is like my animations, right? My animations are not YouTube shorts. They won't show up on the little shorts shelf when you're scrolling through on the mobile app, or now they actually have them on desktop too. And there's a huge difference between those, because shorts, the actual YouTube shorts that show up on the short shelf, they don't have ads that get served or anything like that. It's just kind of like continuous scrolling, right? That kind of content, if you've made your video, you may be asking what the difference is. It's a video that's made in the vertical aspect ratio, right? So that it looks good on a phone. Those videos get shoved so much more. So like Ludwig just had a video that passed 10 million views for the first time ever. And I want you to think to yourself, like, how much money do you think Ludwig got for that short? Like, in particular, like, how much money do you think it is? And think about it, get an actual number for 10 million views. You can pause it. The answer was $85. For 10 million views, you got $85. And it's just because there's no ads for Shorts. The only payout that you get is basically this little like side fund that YouTube has set apart to kind of encourage people to create Shorts. But because there's no pre-roll ads or post-roll ads, you just kind of scroll right through. The rate that you get per 1,000 people, your RPM, is a lot lower. And so I thought that was really interesting. If he uploads the exact same video, but it's not a vertical aspect ratio, and it gets 10 million views, video will probably get somewhere around $1,000 to probably $10,000. I actually think. I think that's, did I do the math right? I think that sounds right. $1,000. Oh, I think that's, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to tell for those shorter videos. My animations get like $2 per 1,000 views, but that's more than like a really short video. I don't know. Anyway, so that's really interesting that Susan brings up like, wow, look at us. We're doing great. Shorts got so many views. And it's like, I don't know if they really have been successful. I feel like you just kind of showed them to everybody all at once. And then they were like, wow, look how many people watched it. Like, yeah, of course they're going to watch it. I don't know. All right, let's continue.
Creators are significantly impacting the global economy.
That's really interesting too. That's a really quick thing, but she shows this graphic that YouTubers are impacting the global economy, and I want to try to pause it. Yes, all right. So here they show 4 different countries. This is really interesting to me because the United States, apparently YouTube generates 400,000 jobs in the United States and contributes 20.5 billion to the global GDP. Our GDP is like in the trillions, so this is ultimately a really small number. I don't know how that compares to just like other industries, but a pretty sizable chunk. I think that's a pretty big W for YouTube. South Korea, 86,000 jobs. I don't know what their population is. And Canada also pretty big. So like 3 pretty big countries that, are like, really like first world countries, right? But then they have Brazil in here, and that's really interesting because Brazil's economy is not nearly as good as like the United States, for example, right? And so a video that does well in Brazil, you actually get paid less per 1,000 views in Brazil. This is really interesting. So I had a while ago, I did a video with Edu Antunes, and he had a bunch of his followers come watch. Normally my videos get like 40% American viewed, and the average amount of money that I make per 1,000 views depends on the time of the year greatly, but it was like at the time about like $4.50. And during that video, when there were a bunch of Brazilians, it was like $2. Like it's because advertisers don't pay as much to advertise to Brazilians because Americans are the ones that are spending the big bucks, right? Like advertisers will pay more to advertise to people who are going to spend more money, right? So it's interesting that they wrap in Brazil into, Canada, South Korea, United States as like, look how many jobs this is generating, because Brazil's economy is very different than these other places. And I guess the best example is like people in Venezuela. Venezuela's economy is like really, really bad. Like they have terrible, terrible inflation, and people play RuneScape for like $2 an hour. You'll play RuneScape and you'll earn in-game money, and you'll sell it for real-world money at a rate of what is equivalently like $2 an hour. Like terrible, terrible rate, like way under minimum wage in the States. But that is like 20 times minimum wage in Venezuela because their economy is so bad. And so this is really interesting because I wonder how Brazil as a country compares to these other places when, I think it would be much more realistic for you to make YouTube into your full-time job in Brazil if you can do it, because it's just like that little bit of money goes a really long way. Again, I'm like 23. I don't even know what I'm talking about here 100%, but that was something that stuck out to me as interesting. All right, I have seen no other parts of this video up until this point. I watched all of this and I was like, wow, this is interesting. I'll save the rest as like a reaction thing. So we'll watch it together.
Global economy. The number of channels around the world making more than $10,000 a year is up 40% year on year.
That's really good.
We've been working to expand the opportunities available to creators to connect with our audiences, and there are now 10 different ways for creators to make money on YouTube. And more creators are earning money from our non-ads products than ever before. Last year, YouTube channel memberships and paid digital goods were purchased or renewed more than 110 million times.
I wonder how... So they say there's 10 different ways to earn money on YouTube, and I have to assume that's like memberships, super chats. If you have YouTube Red, or I think they call it YouTube Premium these days, like that also, if people have YouTube Premium and they watch your videos, they won't be displayed ads because they have YouTube Premium, but you still get a chunk of that as if they were, like you get a chunk of that too. So like that, right? Obviously like ad revenue. I wonder what the other ones are though. I wonder if they count like super chats and like the stickers as different things. I don't really know. I also wonder how it stacks up because I live stream on YouTube, right? And so like people do that in place of like a Twitch subscription. Like they want to support me in that way, specifically for the live streams. I have no way of knowing, or maybe I do and I just don't know, what my breakdown is of the people who have memberships for the channel, who is just someone that watches strictly the YouTube videos, and who are the people that do it during live streams. I guess up until this very moment, I've kind of just always assumed that the people that are members of the channel are the people who watch my live streams. But I guess actually I realize now that that might not necessarily be the case. So that is really interesting. Diversifying your sources of income is really important for people that are trying to be self-employed. You don't want to rely way too heavily on one source of income, right? Like if you have a really bad month, like all of a sudden you can't pay your bills. But if you have, a bunch of different sources of income, the average millionaire has 7, for a little fun fact for you. That kind of helps a lot too. So I also don't know if that really counts as diversifying when it's all coming from YouTube. But again, that is a brag for sure. All right, Web3. I'm interested to hear about this. because I personally very strongly believe in the technologies behind NFTs and Web3 just in general. Like, I'm one of the people that definitely recognizes that this is the future. I have not really like bought into this in any way though, besides just being interested in learning about it. I also think that just in general, like the way that the status of NFTs in our society right now is like vastly misunderstood and not underappreciated, but oh my God, I can't think of the word. It's getting slept on right now. I still can't think of the word, but so I'm interested to hear what they have to say about this, specifically because Fwiz, the head of YouTube Gaming, just left YouTube in pursuit of taking a CEO position for a company called Polygon, which is doing Web3 development as well. So that's kind of interesting.
We're also looking further ahead to help creators capitalize on emerging technologies, including NFTs, while enhancing the experience creators and fans have on YouTube.
If you want to know more about NFTs specifically in the gaming space, please watch Devin Nash's video on it. A lot of people like absolutely trashed him for that. And again, it's like people have to look past the current state of how it exists now and look at the benefit of being able to prove through a digital means that this is an original version of something, right? Again, it's like, it blows my mind when people, I don't know if it's as a meme or if they're just doing it, to egg people on, or if they genuinely don't understand the technology or whatever. But, people will say like, I just bought this NFT. And then people will say, they'll screenshot it and they'll be like, cool, bro, now I have it, right? And it's like, that's not the same. Like, and people make fun of people for saying that, right? But it's like, if I went to the Louvre and I took a picture of the Mona Lisa, like, I don't own the Mona Lisa. Like, it's not that hard to understand. I feel like that it's like, yeah, you have the picture, but like, you're not the owner of it in that way, right? And so art in both real life and NFT land is not something that I understand, right? Like, I don't really understand owning art and like where that value comes from, just because I'm not into that so much. But I think that technology of being able to prove that you digitally own something is super valuable. I mean, it already takes place in games, again, like RuneScape is the game that I played, but having rare and valuable things is something that people care about. And NFTs are a way to prove and to provide value to different things, like to prove authenticity. And so, yeah, I definitely think it will take over more. Again, there's a bunch of issues, but don't look at how it exists now. Like, think about the technology and how it will be in the future, I think. That's all they talked about that
We're
for.
giving creators more control, and we're working behind the scenes to look hard at our policies and make sure that we're drawing the line in the right places. And we're also hiring more people so we can expand our experiment to provide creators more detail about policy violations, like timestamps. And here are a few.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what that was at all, but it sounds cool.
And we're also hiring more people so we can expand our experiment to provide creators more detail about policy violations, like timestamps.
I have no idea what she means by like timestamps, honestly. That's so weird. I guess like saying like specifically like you violated it at this time, I guess, but that already exists. I don't know. I think the biggest thing that YouTube has to work on is that like there are a lot of people that are falsely saying, I am the copyright owner of this copyrighted material. You need to pay me this instead. And they'll just pretend to be the people that own the copyright, and they will strike your channel, and your channel will stop making money on that video until you kind of prove that it is. So there's a lot of manual reviews. I've gotten a lot of strikes on my channel, and it's like, hey, you use this song, it's ours. And I submit the ticket to YouTube, and I'm like, this is not who owns this. Like, please look at this. I know I'm allowed to use this, And then normally that gets submitted to those companies, and then they just like accept it. They're like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Please don't tattle on us. And that's the end of it. But yeah, I think that's really interesting. I also think like there could be a much better system for when you use copyrighted material, making sure that like right now, if I live stream, right, and if I have a 3-hour-long live stream and I used a 30-second clip of a Bruno Mars song or something like that, Bruno Mars or whoever owns Bruno Mars's music will make 100% of the money, 100% for the whole live stream, which is crazy, right? Like, there's so much there, and just because you messed up that one thing, now it's not there. Now, YouTube has tools to remove that sort of audio, but I would really like to see some sort of like proportional payout to the people, right? Like, if you got paid, or if Bruno Mars got paid for like, whatever 30 seconds out of 3 hours is, like 0.1% of the video's revenue, I think that makes more sense. But again, that's more YouTube trying to keep themselves out of trouble. That's where I see the most room for improvement coming from.
And here are a few areas that we're investing in this year. Last year, we started rolling out a new
more
feature
shorts.
that lets you remix audio from across the platform. In months ahead, we will expand this.
Do you guys watch shorts? I don't really watch them all that much. Sometimes, but I don't scroll through them like I do on TikTok.
Shorts creators ways to make money through our Shorts Fund.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That's the only source of money that they make. It will still significantly be less money than making videos that are just short in general. And it's just because there are no ads. Like, YouTube doesn't make any money to pay you, so why would you get any money, you know?
Over 40% of creators who received payment from the fund last year were not in the YouTube Partner Program previously.
Oh, that's interesting. So that's 40% of people who made money from shorts do not have the requirements of making money on YouTube. I'm pretty sure is what they're saying. The YouTube Partner Program, I get a little confused sometimes because there's like the verification is different than, yeah, that's got to be like the actual partner program. When you are eligible to make money off of YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 watch hours in the last year, which isn't like super difficult to do, but it is like definitely a chunk, right? For example, I hope Blade is okay with me sharing this, but Blade recently hit 1,000 subscribers, but he doesn't have the public watch hours, right? So like it's normally around your like maybe like 2,000 subscribers is like when you start making money on YouTube. So that's really cool though, even though it's probably dirt cheap, that people are still able to make money without being in the YouTube Partner Program.
Last year was an incredible year for music on YouTube. We passed a huge milestone in 2021. YouTube now has more than 50 million music and premium subscribers, including trialers.
Interesting.
We've seen incredible strides in the evolution of gaming on YouTube and recently brought over creators to live stream exclusively on YouTube.
It's the smartest thing they could have done.
We're building out our live experience.
I mean, this is, again, watch Devin Nash if you care more about that and the logic behind it. That is by far the smartest thing they can do. Twitch is like an absolutely dying platform, and the only thing that's holding Twitch together is that there's like people there that people care about. But as soon as you take all those people away, Twitch really does not provide that much value anymore these days. I think Twitch as a website has like 1, maybe 2 years left in it, tops, unless they start making some big changes. But I don't see that happening under Amazon's control.
Experiences with better discoverability and more chat features. And we'll also roll out one of our top requested features, gifted memberships.
Oh yeah. So easy.
People are discovering new products
Such
on
an
YouTube.
easy fix. That's great.
We launched a creator tagging pilot that gives viewers a chance to shop their favorite videos. This year, we'll bring live shopping to more creators and brands as we build more interactive and entertaining experience for users.
That doesn't feel like that applies to me at all,
People
but that's
come to
interesting.
YouTube every day to learn, and we're committed to doubling the number of users who engage with educational content on YouTube. And we're working towards that goal with new product features that will connect viewers with better ways to learn.
Dude, that's a great goal, but they're trying to double YouTube. Doubling any of their analytics is insane. Like I don't even know if YouTube right now is capable of doubling like their overall viewer count, because I think over half of the world actively watches YouTube, you know? So that's crazy that they're trying to double any statistic. But yeah, really cool.
This year, we'll continue to support environmentally focused creators to amplify positive climate content on our platform. It was amazing to see a group of creators help make the United Nations Climate Change Conference accessible to everyone.
That's a cool goal, but I wonder what that looks like. We also heard from many
of you about the removal of the public dislike count on YouTube, and I know that this decision was controversial. Some of you mentioned dislikes helped you decide what videos to watch, but dislikes were never shown to people on the homepage, search results, up next screens, where users were most likely to choose a video. People dislike videos for many reasons, including some that have nothing to do with the video, which means that it's not always an accurate way to select which video to watch. We also saw the dislike count harming parts of our ecosystem through dislike attacks, as people actively work to drive up the number of dislikes on a creator's video.
I think that is far outweighed by the benefits of having the dislike button. I think that, I'm not going to talk about this for a super long time. Ludwig made a really good video about this. I know I keep talking about him, but I think that change was soft. I think that it's like, all right, look, I'm sure some people were experiencing that really sucks, but it's like, I really feel like if they would have just kept trucking and just kept doing their thing, that they would have been okay in the long run, you know? Like, I don't know, man. That it still feels unnecessary to me. And there have been multiple occasions since they removed that where I'm watching a tutorial and I'm like, is this going to help me solve my problem? and I have absolutely no means of knowing without checking the comments, right, anymore. And it just feels like I'm wasting so much more time now on like specifically tutorial style stuff.
And these dislike attacks often targeted smaller creators and those just getting started.
Again, if you're making good stuff, like genuinely good stuff, that is a non-factor. The people attacking you with dislikes or whatever, if you're making good stuff, they will not slow you down. Like that is, again, it is just because it made people feel bad, I feel like, was the reason that they did that. And YouTube doesn't like when people feel bad.
So we experimented with removing the dislike counts across millions of videos over many months. And every way we looked at it, we did not see a meaningful difference in viewership, regardless of whether or not there was a public dislike count. And importantly, it reduced dislike attacks.
Yeah, to zero. There's no dislikes. What do you mean?
YouTube Studio,
we removed dislikes, and there were less dislike attacks. How about that?
Metric, and viewers can still dislike videos to inform their recommendations.
That is helpful. I mean, it's also weird though, because like I can still see the percentage of people that liked or disliked a video, but that statistic was not super helpful to me as a creator because almost every video was like somewhere between like 97 and 100% liked, and it just didn't feel like it was ever reflective of how much people actually enjoyed the video. So I never even looked at that as a creator.
Last year, creators and artists from 7 countries joined the Black Voices Fund of 2021. I recently spoke with a creator from the Black Voices Fund class, Kev, on stage, and it was great to hear his experience in the program. Underlying all of our efforts to innovate and support our creator community is a commitment to responsibly protect our community. We're also exploring ways to provide more transparency. We'll continue to reach out to government officials to discuss issues that are a priority for viewers, creators, and artists on our platform, and it's important that policymakers understand how their decisions could impact the growing creator economy.
I don't know anything about that, but I do know one thing is that boomers do not understand the internet, and a lot of people, dude, good luck YouTube, honestly, because I'm sure there are plenty of people in positions of power that do not know how to get to youtube.com. They do not know how to get to www.youtube.com. So that's good luck with that battle.
The proposed Digital Services Act in the European Union could have unintended consequences for online speech. We support the goal to create a unified digital consumer protection framework across member states, but some provisions could make it more difficult for YouTube to help users find high-quality content that meets their interests. We will continue to work with the EU member states as they incorporate Article 17 and the EU Copyright Directive into local laws. Thank you to all the creators whose engagement has helped ensure that the law will be workable.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
At YouTube, we look forward to what lies ahead, and
Susan needs to get a better thumbnail artist, and she needs to get a better microphone because that was abysmal from that side of things, dude. Oh my God. Every other part of that was pretty cool though. I hope this is cool for you guys. I don't know. Let me know. I like talking about this sort of stuff. And I also do like once a month for the people that support me on Patreon. I do like a Patreon Q&A, and it's just any questions you want to ask me. I sit down and I answer every single one of them. And there's always a ton of people interested in the YouTube side of things. And I would love to talk about that sort of stuff. So if you like this kind of thing, you can for sure like leave a comment on this video here, and I will take a look at it, and I will see if any of them are, you know, kind of good enough to make full videos out of. But again, I'm just kind of using this channel as a fun way to just to upload the sort of stuff that I think is fun and that I care about, and not have to worry about how well it's going to perform. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support, and I will see you soon.